Do we know right now who the cover athlete should be? Is this someone that either should be a past player, a current player like Caleb Williams, who will get drafted after this season, potentially number one overall? Or is the cover athlete someone that is still playing, is going to be playing next year, and may have a breakout season that kind of comes in 2023 that propels them to that? Where do y'all land on that?
So my big idea on the cover athlete is it should be sort of a collectible thing where we go and we find who it should have been since we had the game last.
Hmm.
We should go
That would be
find
awesome.
who should it have been that year, right? Do we put Baker and Lamar and a bunch of these other dudes that have been absolute studs for this game and who have carried this game in its popularity for the last several years that never got a chance to be on the cover, right? They never got a chance to be on the cover. And now, a lot of these guys, Lamar on, Madden and all that, like that's great, cool. But like give them a chance to be on the cover here too and make it a collectible thing, right? Make it to where
Mm.
like you really want to make some money, you're going to like a couple of those players and so you'll go and collect a couple of those covers, right? You can order it with a certain cover if you want to, but that lets, I think, certain fans of certain teams who say like that was my guy, that lets them kind of associate with that as well. If we're talking about just modern players, I mean, how is it not Caleb Williams? At this point, he's the biggest name at the biggest school, the biggest brand. Like, that's the obvious number one. But if you're not going to go with just a current player, and there's a lot of reasons I think you probably shouldn't just go with the current player. Yeah, you should make this a collectible thing where you can let people choose. Hey, I want the 2014 or the 2020 or the 2016 or the 2018 edition. I want one of those editions, right? You could put
Mm.
an LSU like Joe Burrow on a cover, and that thing is going to sell like crazy in
Right.
Louisiana. That thing will sell, 1 million copies in the first day in Louisiana, no problem. And so I don't know. I think this is a really good idea. I think that you could do that and honor a lot of people who should have had the chance.
I love that idea. I think, yeah, if you are talking current players, Caleb Williams is going to be really hard to
Yeah,
beat. Maybe Drake May if he just ends up lighting
he's
the
a
world
stud.
on fire this year and goes really high in next year's draft. But yeah, it's probably going to be a quarterback for a really big team, quarterback for the national championship winning team. And we have the door open now to have it be a current college athlete, right? Like there's no
Yeah,
rule against that for it being someone that's still in school. So that just opens up a whole new world of possibilities because you think back to the last edition, it ends up being Denard Robinson. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember this. It was like a online fan vote that a lot of different schools were trying to just get their whole fan bases involved. I know A&M. I think the
Right.
final was Denard Robinson versus Ryan Swope from A&M, which like if you're not an A&M fan, you have no idea who Ryan Swope is because he unfortunately didn't get to do anything in the NFL, but the fan base was just really pumping in millions of votes for
Yeah.
our slot receiver. And that's really cool, but the obvious choice that year was Johnny Manziel, right? Like there's
Yeah.
no
right.
reason on earth if name, image, and likeness was a thing in 2012, 2013. Johnny Manziel they're not even having a fan bracket because Johnny Manziel
Yeah,
isn't on the cover of NCAA 14. So the fact that we can get the biggest current stars that you can actually play with on the game on the cover just finally makes all the sense.
I don't think I would also like to see kind of a Legends of the Last Decade compilation. I don't know if that's what they'll do because this is their chance to have a superstar current athlete on the cover for
right.
the first time. So I think in this celebration of the new direction of what's possible now, I do think they'll have a singular cover athlete. But to your point, they could do what like MLB The Show has done, where you have a Legends edition or something that comes with all these pre-order bonuses
Or
where
historic teams that you can play as. Like if you want to
Yep.
play as the
right,
2019 LSU Tigers and have Joe
right.
Burrow and Jamar Chase, you can do that, right? Like or whoever 2020 Alabama.
Oh, and there's no doubt this will be a microtransaction heaven.
Yes.
You
Oh yeah.
you you will be able to buy a billion different pieces, puzzles, collectibles, players on this game. I don't really want to dive into that because I'm not a microtransaction guy. like when I play the show
That's
or
just
when I play
EA's
Madden.
model, though. That's what they do.
Yeah, no, it's what they'll do. They'll have a card based element to it for Ultimate Team. Hey, if that's your thing, congrats. Go enjoy. I'm gonna be playing Dynasty mode with a 1-star team, and
which they have said is going to be like their main focus.
it's the
Which
flagship focus.
thankfully,
Yes,
like
yes.
Good.
microtransactions will be there, but they have come out and said Dynasty is what we're going to go all out on. Which
they
praise
should.
the Lord. Like yes, that is your bread and butter. Please don't hurt the fans. Play one for the fans here, please.
Exactly. So that's really exciting. Last question before we wrap here. Who? And maybe it's a short list. Have you guys started thinking about who that first team that you're gonna start a rebuild with is?
Oh man, it's hard to say who's going to be at the bottom in a couple of years because the usual suspects have been kind of good over the last couple of years. I like starting with Texas teams and kind of working the way up. So maybe I'll rebuild the Texas State Bobcats and make them into a national power that they deserve to be with their amazing college town.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, just because I've written their preview article for this year and I've kind of gotten a fondness for them. I think I'm going Miami, Ohio.
The MAC is really fun to start.
Just such a big fan of that team after kind of looking into their situation this offseason and their cradle of coaches and everything. Super big fan of what they have up there. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the MAC is always a fun place to start. Of course, like old Sunbelt teams are great as well.
Coastal, you can play as Coastal now. Like, think of all the teams that you couldn't play as unless you downloaded the new mods recently. Yep. The revamp is awesome.
James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison, Coastal, all these. Appalachian State was not on the most recent. Yeah. Rest in peace to FCS Southeast, the Vipers or whatever they were. I don't think they're going to make this one, but.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, Trey, it's funny. Like you're like, you can play as Coastal. I'm like, oh man, I've been playing against Coastal for a year now with this spot. But,
I have not gotten in on the revamp train. I really wish that I have, but
you're an Xbox guy. I think the only way to get revamped is like to pay somebody to jailbreak the Xbox and install it like internally. So yeah, you Xbox folks were up a creek if you wanted them.
My NCAA 14 story, because Mitch and I still do play NCAA 14, obviously different versions of it, but I literally found my old copy of it in my parents' garage a couple years ago, and I was just overjoyed. Like it was like wedding day right here, day I found NCAA 14, just a rung below, but. It was awesome. Like I was so happy. If you don't know, like the resale market for that game is I could sell that game online right now. Maybe not right now because of the news that the new one's coming out. Yeah. But before there were rumors of a new game coming out. You could sell that for $200 easily online, if not more, if it's in good condition. So like I went and immediately found an Xbox 360 on Facebook Marketplace just to play this game. Like. We are overjoyed about this. If you can't tell, like we are so excited for this to finally be a reality, and all the hoops are finally look like they've been finally jumped through.
Well, they've gone through and are redesigning every single stadium. They've requested numerous resources from each university: fight songs, logos, decals, traditions, history. I mean, this should be the most complete football game we've ever seen, and listen, Dynasty mode is awesome, but what made NCAA football so unique was the traditions and the unique pageantry that you went to. It didn't matter if you were playing as a big school or if you were playing as a 1-star program newly into the MAC or the Mountain West, whatever. There were items that made each of those schools unique and easy to root for. And so to have that turned up to 11 from what we've heard on this game, I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a return to high school, I think, for a lot of our age guys, right? I think there might have to be a couple of late nights, maybe some energy drinks, some cheap tacos consumed, and zoom through years 1 through 3 of the program to get your recruits in and the pipeline built, and then go chase a national championship.
I can't wait. You're just speaking my language right now. I can't wait.
Yeah, sorry. And early apologies to all the wives and girlfriends.
Significant
out there.
others are going to be very upset, but
Yeah,
including ours.
just budget that in. Let's maybe let's make up for it in advance. Let's get some things planned on the calendar. But
Yeah, real nice dinner date vacation the weekend before it comes out. Buy
Right.
yourself some good grace.
You're on the calendar right now.
This is an official like husband or boyfriend tip. Okay, well maybe we'll start throwing these into the podcast. Give you a little husband or boyfriend tip for how to handle yourself here.
June becomes National Wife and Girlfriend Month next year because July is going to be all about the boys on EA Football 2024.
Can we get one of those July is for the boys towels like with Barstool has? Can we get a copyright on that real quick?
You're welcome, Barstool. We're doing
the buy that URL for us right now. Just
gracious him. How about that?